Joining us now is Dean Baker. He has consulted for the Joint Economic Committee of Congress and also the World Bank, and he is now the co-director of the Center for Economic and Policy Research here in D.C. And Dean, tell me if I'm misquoting you, but basically you're saying that Obama has gotten a bit of a bum rap for being unfriendly to business, no?
Well, it seems that way. I mean, look, profits are at record highs as a share of the economy. They've almost fully recovered their pre-recession levels. I mean, the rest of the country is badly hurting. We're looking at 9.8% unemployment.
Right.
But corporate America seems to be doing great. And if you look at Wall Street, their bonuses are as high as ever. I mean, it's a little hard to see what they have to complain about.
So are you puzzled by this gathering?
Well, yeah, a little bit. I mean, I do know clearly you had a lot of executives have been complaining about the administration. If you look at campaign contributions, they've been disproportionately going to Republicans, much more so than in prior years. So I understand Obama's concerned about that. But in terms of the administration's policy, you're a little hard pressed to see what has been anti-business in it.
I agree with Dean. I've written that before, and I really do think that it is a bit of a bum rap, but I also think, and I think Dean will agree, that psychology matters, and there is a psychology that has not been as encouraging as the administration would like. Businesses hoarding this money for whatever reason. They'd like him to invest more. Most of the people who are coming there today, I think, are what they would term business leaders who are more receptive to that kind of message. A few exceptions. The CEO of Dow Chemicals there, he's going to complain about regulations.
Right.
But I think
he's got like David Cody there.
David Cody and Jeff Immelt
yes,
and
exactly.
Eric Schmidt and people like that. But I think what they're hoping to come out of here is a bunch of people saying, boy, this administration is really better now or good now. Whether they've changed any policies really substantively, not that psychology, I think they believe is important.
Should he have waited before doing this?
Why? For what?
I don't know. I mean, should he have waited until after the new year?
No, I don't think so.
After taxes were
I don't
involved?
think so. I don't think that would have been necessary. I think taxes are. We pretty much know what's going to happen with taxes now, and there's always he's about to go on a vacation and Christmas, and then he gets back, and then you have State of the Union, the budget. I think if you're going to do something like this time he seemed opportune.
If I could say something quick about the psychology, I think this is overplayed in a sense. Not to say psychology doesn't matter, but the important thing to recognize is investment actually has been quite strong. So if you look at equipment and software, because there's huge overbuilding in non-residential structures. No one's going to build another office building or another mall right now. There are vacancies everywhere. If you look at equipment structures, that's been growing at nearly a 20% annual rate over the last 4 quarters. So that's actually been growing at a pretty healthy pace. So given the weakness of the economy, I'm actually surprised on the high side in terms of how much investment we've seen.
Dina, I'm glad you brought that up, because let me just outline for you, the 5 or so topics apparently that's going to be on the table here at this meeting. I mean, there's trade and exports, incentives, skills and workforce training, deficit, and innovation. Those are the 5 topics that's going to be on the table. What is really going to be, what is going to be the most contentious? What's going to attract the most talk, I guess?
Well, I mean, a lot will depend on whether they want to be confrontational or not, but clearly where there is a difference is on tax policy. I mean, President Obama will try, he's made his compromise, which means extending the Bush tax cuts for another 2 years, even at the top end, but he is still committed, at least nominally, to trying to get those rates back to the pre-Bush level, and that's not something that the corporate executives are going to agree with him on.
You certainly see this contrast of growth between what's going on here in the U.S. and over in China and India.
Yeah, it is really striking, and what's really not gotten a lot of attention here, part of the story, particularly with China, but India as well, is they had very large stimulus packages. China's stimulus package last year was almost as large as the United States. This is an economy that's less than half our size still. And it worked, and remarkably, it's gotten very little attention here. I mean, that's sort of something I'd love to see President Obama raise with the business leaders there. How about some more stimulus?
Right. How about, but China has a very managed economy, though, as well.
Well, it does. I mean, I'm not going to say that was the whole story, but the point was that was a very big chunk of the story, I would say. And remarkably, I mean, here it is, you had the rest of the world in recession. China grew 9% last year. So it really was very impressive how they were able to sustain very strong growth.